Ha ha ha. I look like the Unabomber. Okay, not for long, folks. Okie dokie, that's better. Although I probably do want to wear my shades because I've been getting a lot of screen time the last couple days. Where are we at? Well, here in the edit, did this shot right. Well, actually, yesterday did a few shots, but this one was done in OpenTunes. This one was completely redone from pencils to inks to paint, everything in Blender 2.8, and then this was uploaded just a little bit ago. I created a new playlist called Blender 2.8 Grease Pencil or something like that. So if you only want stuff about Blender, that's where you go. Otherwise, all these recent videos are on the anime creation live stream playlist, which is, gosh, what is it? It's about 200 videos of just looking over the shoulder of the artist. Okay, this shot was kind of interesting because all I did was take this shot, put it in reverse, and then I liked this pose right there to end it on, so then I just rendered that out as a still, and bloop. Now, Mr. Big made a strategic error here by saying, now, be a good girl. That's not his voice, but now be a good girl. Something more like that, probably. She doesn't like that. She's a good girl. Okay, that brings us up to date. Now, what I really wanted to do next is have her turn like this and say, I'll show you a good girl, before the battle begins, because the battle is about to begin, actually. So what I'm going to do is delete these keyframes, because that was animating the background image. And this background image I'm going to change. I'm going to make it some sort of silhouette thing where we have the well, by gum and by golly, actually, let's just do it. I may have to do some painting, though, to make this work. So let's, and you all are going to have to bear with me because I am definitely still getting comfortable with Blender 2.8. One thing I'm wondering as I'm doing this is, there it is. I want to have my overlays on. It must be this particular shot. I had them turned off. Okay, so now we're going to go here and let's go to its texture. Okay, that's interesting. Oh wait, brush. Material. There's the material, and there's the image. I'm gonna offer a confession. I have never, even one time, ever created a material in Blender using nodes. Ever. Haven't done it. So, with that in mind, probably the thing to do in this particular case, because I don't want to waste tons of time here, is to just stop and let's get the shot sort of figured out first. Okay, so we're going to go here, and now we've got a mouth layer. There's the mouth layer. So everything in the mouth layer should remain, and the shadow can remain. But all of this stuff needs to be deleted, baby. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is whoops, we don't want the sketch layer, we want the mouth layer. So what I'm going to do is just move these mouth shapes around. Okay, so I'll show you those are sort of two. Actually, what we should do is put that on 2s and actually toggle between them. So box select this. Let's just get this, move it downstream, just get it out of the way. Whoops. I'm going to do a little experiment here. I'm going to put that on 4s, put that on 2s. And then what I'm going to do is, again, box select this. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat this because I want to have a warble in her mouth. Now I see a little problem in her ear right there. There's like a rogue speck right there. What the heck is that? All right, so let's go into edit mode and see if we can, if we're lucky, maybe we can just grab it. Let me see if the, okay, so I guess I need to go into object mode so that I'm selecting the grease pencil object, and then yes, that right there. Let's just get rid of that point. And unfortunately, since I duplicated this and Blender makes hard copies, I'm going to actually have to delete the point 4 times, but not the end of the world. Okay, so let's zip back out and see what we have. Okay, not bad, not bad, not bad. I'm going to stretch this out to 80 frames. And I don't know if I should move this whole thing or leave 1 frame back, but let's just see what it feels like. I don't know. I kind of feel like it should just flow right into it. Yeah. And then I'm actually going to just duplicate that and run it again. So that's on 2s. Okay. Yeah, what I think is stretch this out to 4s, which is usually for lip sync. And this might be the problem actually that I'm seeing, is that several of these are not on 4s, they're on 3s. And that's just kind of weird. It's one of those things I've just noticed that normal human speech at a, you know, just moderate pace seems to happen on 4s. I'll show you, good girl. It's a little fast. I'll show you, good girl. Okay, I think that probably we should start it slightly later. I'll show you, good girl. There's one thing missing. Yep. Box that. And let's put that on 4s as well before the warble starts. And then my sense is that this is probably needing to be slightly longer, so let's just make it 100. Nope, not quite. So I'm just going to go double. I'm going to give it... That's better. Okay, very good. And I think the shot is done. We just need to deal with the background. So if we go back to the edit, what we're probably going to discover here... Yes, it's been quite a while since we saw this shot, so it's not going to be a big tragedy if we change the background. As long as we're here... Let's run the dialogue. Alright, save our edit. And now what we need to do is change the background. So what I'm going to do is go into object mode. I'm going to make this as simple as possible. There may be more elegant ways to do this, like changing the texture. Hello? Delete. Okay. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep things as stupidly simple as possible. And So now what I want to do, let me think about this for a moment. What we should do is scan through, let's scan through the background images, and I'm making a mental note here to really try to remember not to forget to switch back to the other screen. Okay, so because this was an image sequence, there's lots of duplicates. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this, and I'm hitting the E key, and what that does is it automatically opens this image in Krita. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this simple, ostensibly out of focus background, and I'm going to add to it a silhouette of my bad guys who are in the background. So first thing I'm going to do is just solve that little problem right there, and then let's put these guys on another layer. And what we'll do is, I'm thinking, I'm actually going to make them out of focus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this. And I just want to sketch these dudes in here. He's got his ponytail thing going on. I think this is going to look pretty good. Okay. So now his arm is actually coming out like that. His other arm like this. And of course these guys have their hands up. So we'll kind of go like that. And then guy number 2, I'm going to hit the M key so that I put so that I can not be covering up the first ninja with my hand. Yep, we're just trying to get the feel of it, and then obviously our Ninja 2 has his spiky hair, as we like to say, the Naruto hair. Okay. M key. Let me put this back. Alright, so now what we're going to do is let's add a filter to these guys. Make them darker, but not horribly dark. And then I think what I'm going to do is actually make them slightly transparent, so there's sort of almost feels like they're picking up a little bit of their background. And then I'm also going to actually let me file, save as, and I'm going to save this anime images backgrounds. I'm going to save this as a Krita file. So this is going to be window. Actually, you know what? We should just name this according to the shot. So if this is going to be 82, let's not fight it. And by the way, I've been putting the Krita drawings in the Krita folder, so we probably want to be consistent here. Okay, so now that we've done that, what I can do is make a duplicate of this layer and hide this one, and I'm also going to make a duplicate of this layer, just because I want to assign a blur to the whole thing, and I'm not totally sure it's going to be like perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a filter mask, and the filter is going to be Gaussian blur. And as you can see, that's what it does. I can live with that. Save that. And then we also want to save as. And here's where we'll put it in the backgrounds folder. Images, backgrounds, 0082. And just for kicks and giggles, we'll make it a plain old JPEG. Okay. Now we're back to Blender. Boom. What we want to do is go Shift A, and we're going to add an image. Images as planes. And then we're going to go to Anime, Image, Backgrounds, and there they are. Import that, size that up. Let's go to the camera view. Hello, camera view. Okay, Blender doesn't want to let me go to the camera view. Is that what's going on here? Is it because numlock is on? Okay, it appears that Blender has decided that the traditional everything works except the camera view. Does that mean it can only mean that I inadvertently deleted my camera? Don't want to do that. So okay, so that was a silly thing for me to do. Why don't we do it like this? I want to do this sort of as safely as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a camera, and then I'm going to go to the top view. I'm going to grab my camera, pull way back, and now go to camera view, and let's just go ahead and frame it up. Okay, that's not going to work. So we're going to go on the y-axis. This is interesting. This is definitely interesting. Okay, so I can see an obvious, seriously major flaw in what I did here, in that these fellas are too big. Alright, so now just, again, for kicks and grins, let's see what would happen if we turn on automatic keyframing. We went like this, and then like that. I like it. I'm not sure that it's definitively amazing, but the one thing, okay. One thing that's definitely annoying me is that this business with her ear is still present everywhere, which is really kind of a disappointment, because it means I have to do a bunch of maintenance on my art throughout. It's there. Okay, so yeah, like I said, this is a little disappointing, but it is what it is. Let's go into edit mode. Well, actually no, we're in object mode, so let's grab the grease pencil object. Now let's go into edit mode. And what I'm looking for is to determine for sure, I should remember this obviously, but I don't. Okay, it is not, I'm not sure what layer that's in, but anyway, let's grab that dot right there and remove the point. There it is again. So isn't that silly that we had to do that? But that's okay. The world will keep on turning, I do believe. Now, as long as I'm here and having nothing but fun, I want to take advantage of this little feature. Let's see. Shadow? Okay. I made a strategic error by putting that glow stuff in. I put the glow in the ink layer. So I think what I want to do is highlight. There it is. I am going to solo yes. Okay. So I need to go to where this frame hits. Yeah, this is really unfortunate that I have to do this, but I really just don't want to compromise, folks. So I'm going to delete those strokes. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the clipping option to make these highlights look way, way, way better. I don't think it's egregious enough to justify going back and redoing the prior shot, although, knowing me, I may wind up doing that actually. But for now, I definitely just really want to get rid of the... Remember, this was literally the first shot I ever did in Blender 2.8. And so there were, shall we say, mistakes made. Okay, that's that. So now I like the highlight color, I think. But what I want to do is I want to add a layer on top and I want to clamp it. Okay, and what that should allow me to do is go into draw mode with the highlight that is filled. Actually, I want the highlight. So let's unsolo that. And I'm looking for my highlight. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Okay, that is in there. So we need to create a new material. Because I'm not really seeing... I'm not seeing a highlight that has a fill. And if we put the fill on, it's going to affect a lot of stuff we had before. So let's grab this and make a copy of highlight no fill. Now this is critically important. Any changes I make to this material are going to be copied to the other material as well. So you need to click this little button so you make a duplicate. Alright. And this is actually going to be highlight filled. Very good. And we'll turn on the fill. I don't really care what it looks like at this moment. You'll see why. So we're in draw mode. So what I'm going to do is just kind of kiss the edges. Okay, doesn't that look nice? And now what we can do is, since it's on its own layer, we can just dial it in on the layer level. So the only other thing I would tweak here a bit is I really should have been using the ink pen. The heck? Okay, let's just see what this is. Okay, I'm just going to change something here. Why is that? Oh, I know why. My bad. I'm being stupid. Yeah, because I'm creating keyframes here. Obviously, we need to get all these keyframes in here. That's what I was seeing was the keyframe of that highlight on top of another frame where it didn't make sense, obviously. So if I am not mistaken, this should do the trick. Yeah, that's better. And now if we want to, we could tighten that up a bit as well. What I do want to do is, let's go View, Render Image. Yes, okay, so I've seen this to be the case kind of across the board. It appears to me that the opacities seem to look slightly harsher when rendered. So, yes. So that looks better. Okay. So that means everything's groovy cool except our two ninjas are too big. That's the bad news. The good news is it's really stupidly easy to fix. Because all we need to do is go in here, take these two guys, take this, how do we want to do this? I think let me think about this for a minute. I'm gonna hit undo on that. I think I'm going too extreme actually. Let's try that. we'll just save the JPEG. Boom. And now if we go in here and reopen this, okay. Okay, yeah, I mean, not horrible, although I guess what I'm thinking is I'd like to see both of these guys be able to be visible. So with that, we'll make that other additional adjustment. And, whoops, file, open recent. Okay, now we want to look at our outputs. Yes, render is 0069, which of course is wrong. That needs to be 0082. AVI JPEG's fine. And save that. And now we have successfully done yet another shot. So we're up to 5 shots today in the space of a couple hours. So that's not too shabby. Alright, so now I'm going to jump over here to my edit. Sorry, that's not my edit. This is my edit. Alright. And up in the render folder that you cannot see, I'm waiting for my next shot to show up, which it will after it's done rendering. And it just did. And now I can drag it in here. Ah, look at that crap on the edge. Dang. I think I should... Okay, obviously I need to adjust the one image, but really I'm actually thinking I should reverse the camera move. Now, one thing that's strange here is, why do I appear to have... Okay, that's the video edit. Oh, I see. This is my render window. That was confusing me. Okay, so let's go back here. And we want to be in Dope Sheet. Okay, step one, before we go too much further, is let's just take in object mode. Let's go on the X, hit Shift, just to get that a little more under control. Okay. I do not see as any other keyframes are necessary. Okay, and now what we want to do is grab the camera, and my sense is that we could go like this and literally reverse these keyframes and everything would look better. Now, whether the pan move should be in there at all is obviously a fair question. And honestly, I was trying to push it on the word "you." There's a push, in my humble opinion. So there's that. I think this shot should be deleted. It's too much motion. It's becoming gratuitous. So I'm going to go ahead and just lock that there. I don't mind the push. Save that and Control F12. So that's going to re-render now, and then we can cut it into the show and onto the next shot. So very good. That was half an hour for one shot. And I'm reasonably satisfied. I think it looks quite good. Yes. No criticism, rejection, whatever. I think it looks perfectly peachy, doesn't it? Yes. Okay, so waiting for the render. I'm favoring standard renders now instead of OpenGL renders, just because if there's anything selected in the frame or whatever, like this orange line would probably show up. I mean, it probably wouldn't because it's the camera, but like if that object is selected, that outline. Now, obviously, you could turn your overlays off and then do a view render. It'd probably be faster, but whatever. Okay, so now here in the video edit, what we're going to do is just hit save and then reload it. And I see a problem. This is a basic rule of thirds problem. So, not a big deal. Go back here. This is just me probably moving too fast. Yes. I'm actually going to go here. Let's go on the Y. Push in just a little bit. Okay. And let's delete this key. And duplicate this. Alright. And then here. Boom. Go on the Y. What the heck? Am I seeing things? I may be seeing things. Let's go back to grease pencil. I hate to have to do this, but it's just one of those things, you know, it's just okay, object mode, edit mode. Look at that. It's just one of those things. I think we're clean. Okay, let's go back to object mode. Let's select this, and just for kicks and giggles, let's do what we said. Let's turn the overlays off, and then do. And are we in camera view? Yes. Let's go view, viewport render animation. Let's see what that looks like. I have to say it looks principally the same. I mean, I think we're perfectly peachy, but I'm not seeing that it's any faster. I don't think the render is any faster. Now the question becomes, is this little leak right here a problem? You know what? I'm going to say it is. I'm going to say it's a problem. So since we're only going to have to change it in one place, let's go to our paint layer. Let's grab her. Let's go into draw mode. Let's grab our materials, and what we want to do is go to skin, and here's what we want to do. Very, very simple. Just go right here and fill that little gap. I guess as long as we're here, let's clean up a couple of these other ones too. That's good. Okay, save. Viewport render, and now, oh shoot, escape. If you're going to do a viewport render, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to do a viewport render. I'm going to go Control F12. I don't see that it's rendering any faster anyway in quote unquote OpenGL render. So why bother? Okay, so that's that. And while that's rendering, let's go ahead and take a little peek at what the next shot is. Okay, this is interesting. Mr. Big leaves the room. Okay, this shot's going to have to be done in OpenTunes because I am not willing to squander all the work I did on these drawings. So the question is whether I should actually go into the original non-baked version, and I think yes. So point being that this sour look on his face is not really germane to the storytelling, so I think we can start here. So save all, and while we're going to go back and check the Blender render here in a moment, but let's go ahead and find the shot we're looking for, which I would say is probably somewhere in here. Yes. Yep, right there. Okay, so we'll go there. This way I have access to the original Toons raster levels, and when it renders it'll clip the shadows properly and all that sort of business. So back to Blender. I'm gonna kill this and see what happens. Okay, so here, file, always just save it and then reopen it. Okay, yes, that's better framing. Rule of thirds, you know. So that's going there. Okay, so now the past couple shots. See, now Blender's doing the same thing it did before. For some reason, the video's like double playing. Okay, that's that. Save early, save often, as we like to say. And now it's going to be on to the next shot. But since we're switching from Blender to OpenToons, we'll go ahead and kill the video, and that'll be another one. So